Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Jared at 3Cs. What's your name?
Braxton.
And today we are reviewing what?
Gas Gas MC85.
Yeah, MC. And what year is it?
2025.
The all-new 2025. These kids want to get this done because they want ice cream. It's getting pretty late, so we got to wrap this up. So where were we yesterday, Braxton?
We were at Pavilion MX.
Yep, which is about 2 hours away. And so you put how much that time is on that hour meter right there?
1.4 hours.
1.4 on the new bike. And this is one of Braxton's old bikes. This is a 2022. Has about 180 hours roughly on it. And his 2023, which is over there, has like 70-ish. So he's got a couple hundred hours on the old chassis. And initial first impressions of the new bike, what do you think?
I think it's good. Handlebars feel a little bit dropped.
Well, initially, that's kind of maybe my fault or whatever. Because when we picked the bike up, we didn't do any initial setup. Like, we rolled the bars forward halfway through. Did that help?
Yeah, it did. I still feel like though whenever I got on it, it definitely feels a little bit more dropped still.
Which is funny because kind of like this bike is all new for this year. We're not a gas dealer, by the way, so our input is like pure raw. We're not trying to sell anything, but I don't think there's a lot of content on these yet, so we want to provide that. Later in this video, we're going to drop some big hints on what we did to make these wheels fit because they don't fit right away. So if you have wheels off of a 2024, they will not fit on your 2025 without some modifications. But what I'm getting to is with all the changes, they really didn't modify. Well, I guess the seat could be different, but handlebar, triple clamp, forks, front wheel was all kind of the same height.
I guess it isn't that bad, but is this the same adjuster bolt?
Yeah, I mean, everything was roughly the same. So for you, what we're going to probably do is some bar risers. Not big ones, maybe some 10 mil. We'll try them. We'll get something a little bit taller because you are a pretty tall kid. Yeah. We did convert this to big wheel. That's part of my story. Here is we bought it as a 17-14, so this would have been the front wheel. And then it had a 14-inch in the rear, which matches what we're selling. This bike did have big wheels, but we converted it back to a small wheel so we can sell it. All right, let's give you the first official walk around of this bike. It does have 1.4 hours on it, and the rims are now used. Body work is completely different. The front fender is cool because I can now put our name on the side of it better, where before it was kind of like tilted. You couldn't never see the stickers. For me as a dealer, that's pretty important. And a lot more like marketable area here on the new plastics. I love this. Way more room here. We can get some 3Cs, 3SR stuff on here. It'll look really good. You can see, you can't really tell, but a new cylinder head. Spark plug is way different. It's a smaller spark plug. The threads are smaller on it. Timing is different. You can see the pipe now has steps in it, so you can see that all the way down through. Clutch, it should be roughly the same. They didn't really make any note of that. This is that power valve that Braxton was talking about. Now we did mess with this. It was in another turn and a half, and we went out with it. So we just wanted to make sure it was similar to what he had before. This is the new rear brake master cylinder. So what's cool about this is it tucks it in more. It's tucked in closer to the swing arm. That way, like, it's not kicking your boot out in the back. All new foot pegs. And the swing arm is pretty cool too. It's all new. My favorite part about the swing arm is honestly just the chain blocks here. So much easier to adjust the chain. It's just the normal ticks, and then the one angle there in the adjuster block. So that's pretty cool. All right, so one thing we're not in love with, I don't think, is the airbox. You can see the hole in the middle actually goes down to the air filter. So I was talking with another dad, probably to put some like coarse foam in here for the mud races. So for motocross, it might not be a big deal. For I can see us though, water getting straight on the air filter. Let's go to the other side. Here, Bex, you hold the camera. Then I'm gonna pop this airbox off because it's quite a bit different than before. So it's way different. So before you pop it off from the back, and we'll show you the old one here in a minute, but you kind of grab it from the front now, and the two tabs are in the front. I'm gonna pull it down and out this way. So this is the air filter, but if I put my fingers up through here, you can see them sticking out of there. I'm not sure that we love that. Like, you're gonna have some dirt and mud coming in, and then that's gonna land straight on top of the air filter. So that's probably my biggest gripe on the whole redesign, is I'm not sure the air filter went forward. It might have gone backwards. And then you gotta it's kind of tricky to get everything lined up, get it all back on. Why don't you go ahead and start taking the seat off, because the seat is all new. It's pretty cool. So the bolt is now up here rather than the old school bolt of being up underneath the bottom. That was always a pain when the bike is muddy, trying to get the seat off. So Braxton's just gonna unscrew that.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. And then, yeah, hit it forward. I think. Yeah, there it is. It's pretty crazy. There's a lot of room under here. So I kind of wish that airbox continued up into this and they cut the hole here. I just felt like less mud would be in this area. So ECU is here. I'm probably going to remount the hour meter under here because way up here on the number plate it's kind of goofy. I think it's going to get, it's actually like a rock could actually hit it. It's above the number plate. So I'll probably remount the hour meter here. Seat, it's kind of weird. It's got this big open space under it. Now these do rest on the inside. You can kind of see where they were starting to wear right there. So that's kind of different. The seat comes off. Not really a need for it to come off.
Forward.
Yeah, it goes off.
Entirely different. So that's
It
kinda
is
weird.
pretty interesting how that comes off. Handlebar layout is the same. Kill switch, brake, clutch, brake, throttle. So none of that is really any different. Oh, the radiators are different. We'll talk about that in a second. One thing I'm not in love with is the fuel shut off. They went back to like the old school, like screw petcock. I liked his other 2023 that had the normal petcock. We'll show that on the other bike in a second. Carburetor is easy to get to. I think I could easily slide that out. I'm interested in the IMS gas tank because I hope, well, they should be coming out with one soon, but we definitely need the IMS for the long range. So a lot of this is going to get hidden by more gas, I would assume. And then we're going to get rid of the stock chain guide at some point, and we'll put an aftermarket chain guide on here to let the mud shed out the side. Shifter's about the same. What did you think of these foot pegs, Braxton? Did you notice them at all? Do you have any comments on the foot pegs?
No, I think they're about the same, but they do look a little bit skinnier compared to the
Like
2022
skinnier,
and 2023.
like this way?
Like here.
That way, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That is probably about the same.
About the
but, like,
same.
This seems a little bit.
I think your foot came off one time. I remember watching you hit a rut and your foot came
Yeah,
out,
probably.
which was interesting. Because I don't think I've ever seen that on your other bike. Other than that, chain looks the same. So let's show you the old bike. All right, this is the 2022. This is the one that's gonna be up for sale. The pipe is not on it. We're polishing it, getting it ready for sale. That's the last thing that this bike needs. This is the old school fuel shut off that I really liked. It was just on and off. It wasn't the screw thing. This is always super reliable. Carb was in roughly the same exact spot. They did say that the new motor is more up and down. You can kind of see it, just like the spark plug angle. This one's laid down a lot more. So the new motor, or the new chassis is stood up more. Airbox, I like this one a lot better. This one came off so easy. Never had a problem with it coming off. And it was just way more mud protection, I think. Like, I don't want the hole on the top. You know, the air could work its way in, but we never had a problem in any mud races with this airbox setup. I almost prefer this one. Here's what the chain adjusters looked like. So it's a little more difficult because you're like trying to count like, you know, like what hump are we on compared to what line. So I think the new swing arm is gonna be way easier to keep the chain adjusted. This bike though is super reliable for as much time that's on it. It was a great bike to us. Handlebar layout, like I said, is identical. We're gonna put some hand guards on the new one here later. And let's see, master cylinder, we'll show you that. You can kind of see how this is kicked out more. On the new one, if you rewind the video, you'll see that it's tucked in a lot more. It doesn't push the rider's boot out in the back. Braxton thought maybe the foot pegs were a little fatter on the old one, which is nice. This is the old school. KTM has been doing this for years. My 2003 KTM had the same screw up underneath, which when it packs the mud, that's not the funnest thing. Here are the radiators. So you can see the standard cap, which was a great design. I had no problems with it. Standard radiator cap, how it comes off. And we'll show you on this one here real quick. This is the new, it's a plastic cap. It's a quarter turn. You push down, rotate it, push down, put it back on. The last thing I want to talk about really is the wheels. So the front wheel is going to bolt right on, and I was super bummed about this until I figured it out. So the front wheel from a 2020, let's see, I don't know about the older bikes, but 2022 through 2024 will bolt right on, no problems. And then back here, there was some modifications to be had. So I tried to film a little bit at the track. I was just kind of wanting to get it done so the kids could ride it. But when they redesigned this swing arm right here, they have this new caliper mount. And the mount stuck in too far. Gosh, you can't see it here. Well, I'm gonna put some footage in here right now and we'll kind of go over that. So let me put that footage in. All right, so Braxton's big wheels won't fit on here and we'll explain it more later, but the inside of the new brake caliper mount here catches the rear rotor right here. So I've been filing it back and it's gonna be okay because the brake pads here have a pretty big lip on the inside. So it's still going to be way in here. I know as the brake pads wear, but I'm not shaving that much off. It's literally just enough. Like when you got the wheel in there, as you have it like finger tight, it's fine. As soon as you put the last rotation on it, it pinches everything together enough that it's like rubbing this bracket. You can probably see the wear mark right here. It was catching on it. So I'm just filing it back a little. Kind of bummed KTM has different, these are the 25 wheel spacers. They are different than 24 wheel spacers. So they're out there riding. That's what I'm doing. Perfect. It's got clearance now down in there. See that side right there? Not a lot, but there's enough for today. I can make it better later. Oh, there's actually quite a bit now. Heck yeah, we're good. So in that footage you can see the caliper mount, I had to actually shave it down with a file and bring it away because it was catching on the side of the rotor. So as I tightened everything, it would pinch it. And these wheel spacers, which you can't really tell, but they're smaller outside diameter. You can see how thick that wheel spacer is on the outside compared to this. So these ones are pretty chewed up from getting them in and out, but it was much thicker, so it rode on that mount, the caliper mount better. So that is one thing that I was super nervous about. I'm like, I am not buying all new wheels. So that's one thing you guys got to watch out for. So that's probably our last little tidbit. We do have some ride videos we're going to do, huh, Brex? Yeah. So we did compare this to the 2023, and we compared it also to a 2022 Husqvarna TC105. So stay tuned on the channel for the comparison video. We're going to work on that one next couple nights. So enjoy the ride, and see you on the trail.